Why do we have to review our direction each and every day? Simple. So you can own your perspective via Toma. We suggest that you review your direction every single morning so that the day you're about to have, you get to choose the perspective for it by a top of the mind awareness. That's what Toma stands for. Take that slide down for just 1 second. Does everyone see what I'm saying there? When you wake up in the morning, and I want you to be honest with yourself. You don't have to be honest with us or Crew Nation. Be honest with yourself. When you wake up in the morning, how long does it take for you to start dreading shit? For you to start complaining about shit in your head? For you to start worrying about shit? For you to start thinking about, oh, fuck this day? How long does it take? I have seen science that shows it takes less than 5 seconds for the average person to start bitching, complaining, worrying, etc.
Right.
So look at, if you're going to get out of bed, put your feet on the ground, and then immediately start doing that, that's your day. That becomes the top of the mind awareness for you for the rest of the day. Whereas if you learn in the morning, it doesn't have to be right when you wake up, of course. But if you learn to review your direction, where you're going, where your goals are, look at where you're headed in life in a positive way. You get to own the perspective on that day via top of the mind awareness. Now, your brain does not centralize on what you're afraid of, what you're dreading, what you're worried about. It starts to centralize on the shit that you fed it on purpose and intentionally first thing in the morning. I need that slide back up. Do you want to add something there, Karen?
Yeah, I'll go after.
Okay, well, here's another reason we're reviewing direction. The Cheshire Cat in the morning. Justin, the handsome COO, calls it the 5x10. Alice came to a fork in the road and didn't know which road to take. And she said so to the cat. And the cat said, well, where are you going? And Alice said, I don't know. The cat said, well, it doesn't matter. Take any fucking road. And that's the great point. Again, we wake up every morning like proverbial farts in the wind. We don't, oh, should I do that? I don't know. You start to react to the day. Does anyone want to say I'm wrong? Seriously, your job every single morning when you wake up is to start complaining, bitching, being afraid, and worrying about shit right from get-go. And then your second job is to react to whatever happens that day. And that's the example of the Cheshire Cat. You don't know where you're going, so it doesn't really matter what the fuck road you take. If you simply establish a morning routine of putting top of your mind where you're going in life and that day, you regulate your perspective to serve you as opposed to not serve you. And then the last point on why you review your direction every day, because remember, the default mode, 150 tabs open at one time, you start to change some of those tabs. So now, if you're reviewing your direction every single morning, you're consciously changing your perspective that day. But when you are in default mode, because you've spent time articulating mentally, writing down your goals and where you're going and reviewing your direction, some of those tabs start to change. So now when you're driving to work, you're not just in threat and safety mode anymore. You've given it a different voice. Now you're perseverating about good shit. And that's powerful. Yeah. Are we killing this, Crew Nation? I need to know. Validate us.
I have two things to say. So
yes.
The first thing I want to say is that, and just before I go to my next point, just you can agree or disagree with this, but the 4 pillars. But so we've done learn your language and review your direction right now. If you haven't picked this up yet, for me, what you're doing is creating focused thought that is going to change your default thought.
How could I?
Right?
How could I argue
That's
that?
Like you're creating a focus in order to reprogram your default. So for all of you who asked at the beginning of the show, how do you reprogram? These 4 pillars, and we're going to do the other 2, right? They're designed to really and truly cover all the bases so there's no holes missed, so that you can create focus and then reprogram default, right?
Now, well said.
And that's one of the things that I wanted to say additional to that, and why the review your direction is so important, okay? Because, learn your language on its own, I'm going to say right now, for me, is not enough. Because learn your language on your own, what that does is it brings awareness.
Yes.
It brings acceptance, right? Yes. But how many of you can relate to being the person who is stuck in the perpetual awareness mode? Okay, I know there's a couple people watching right now who can relate to this. You are aware. You understand where you're self-sabotage. You know where, you're limiting yourself in your thoughts. You have awareness, but yet you're still stuck. You're still in the same place and you can't move forward, right? Well, that's because you have awareness, but you have nothing that is focused on to change the default, right? Review your direction, and the two next ones that we're going to do are all part of that process, right? So they all work in conjunction together.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to kind of frame that out as we move forward, that you can think about that as we're going.
Right.